So from a business standpoint, I am so humbly excited to be able to share with you the stage here today with my mentor. 9 years ago, I was able to meet this gentleman. I was going to school to be a chiropractor. He had recently sold his clinics that he had. He was one of the top chiropractors in the country. Found out as I got to know him, he had set all of the records in World Ventures, hit the highest rank, doing it part-time in 10 months and 5 days. So hit the highest ranked company, international marketing director. He since then has done it a second time, well over $1 million a year after year after year that I've known him. One of the top trainers at World Ventures. And honestly, anytime people ask me what it's like to get to be mentored or personally sponsored by Dr. David Pietsch, the best way I can genuinely tell you how fortunate, not only we are, but all of World Ventures is I put it to people this way. It is very hard. Some people go their entire life, years after years, decades after decades, trying to find someone that's worth following in even one area of their life. And I feel very fortunate. My wife and I found a mentor that's worth following in multiple areas. Not only is he one of the most sound business people I've ever met, he has helped us so much in our walk with the Lord. He's an amazing, just humble Christian servant leader. He's an amazing father, husband, just all around one of the most genuine, down-to-earth people you're ever going to meet. And he has a heart for serving. He has impacted hundreds of thousands of people in World Ventures, trained all over the world. Normally he speaks in stadiums. Like I watched him speak in sold-out stadiums where the Miami Heat play, where the Dallas Cowboys play, and we are fortunate enough to have him here with us for free on Zoom today. So I've been waiting a long time to do this, wanted to hit IMD before I officially did a call with him. The one and only, my mentor, double IMD, $1 million earner, Dr. David Pietsch. Dr. Pietsch, did you make the call?
Yes, I did, and look at you now, Dr. Helgeson. You're not in North Dakota anymore.
Technically in North Dakota right now, but not anymore there.
What are the chances?
Well, you grew hair. I'm back in North Dakota. This is working good. So appreciate you jumping on, Dr. Pietsch. We got hundreds and hundreds of people all across the world on here right now. Real quick, would you mind just kind of sharing a little whatever's on your heart, and we can kind of go back and forth from there.
First of all, I got to say congratulations to you and Crystal as well. I know Mike touched on it, but you and I have thought about this day for 9 years. It's the goal that we've all aspired to, and couldn't be happier for you. So I'm proud of you. You did a great job, and you are the hottest thing in World Ventures worldwide. That is no embellishment. You guys have got it cranking. So if you're on this call and you're on Dr. Helgeson's team, if you're on Crystal's team, just know that you're on a team that's moving. So a little bit about me. I've been in World Ventures for, 13 years now? 13 years. And look, I saw it from a good friend of mine. I trusted him. I trusted his opinion. He called me the day World Ventures launched. I didn't want anything to do with it because I was so focused on my chiropractic practice. But thank goodness he used a word called FU, follow up. He kept following up month after month after month. And, I eventually just decided, okay, this guy is so persistent. I'll just join just to get him off my back. I'll give him a couple $100. Maybe he'll leave me alone. Long story short, I get invited to a big training event in Minneapolis. I go, I catch the vision of World Ventures. I start building evenings and weekends. Didn't have a lot of time, but I wanted to make it work. I wanted to get out of my current situation. I was tired of being a chiropractor. I was getting way, way, way underpaid. I was working so hard, and there's a serious lid on how many patients you can see and how much you can actually earn. And all I did is work when I was a chiropractor. Honest to goodness. I went to college for 8 years. I practiced for 10 years before I got into World Ventures. And I just looked at my life. It's like, I have no life. All I do is work. And so I saw World Ventures as my vehicle out of the mess of my life that I had created. I took it very serious. I used my free time, evenings and weekends. And, in my mind, even though I wasn't spending as much time on World Ventures as I was my chiropractic office, it was my plan A. World Ventures was my plan A. I was going to make it work. I didn't, sign up to see if it was going to work. I signed up to make it work. I just knew I was going to have to be around the people that had gone on before me. I'm going to have to study. I'm going to have to put in the work. But we did, and things took off. And, here we are all these years later. I sold my chiropractic office July 1st, 2010. So I've had 10 years of total time and money freedom. Nobody can take that away from us. I met my wife in World Ventures. Now we have 3 daughters because of that. We've taken dozens and dozens of vacations all over the world. I just go look at my Instagram. It's mind-boggling, the things that can happen on the dream trips that you just showed everybody here. So, for me, I was in World Ventures 10 years. I was in chiropractic 10 years before I got into chiropractic. I have now, on the other side of me selling my chiropractic office, been financially free thanks to World Ventures for 10 years. And what's mind-boggling is I don't have to go anywhere to work every day. I have total time and money freedom, and I've earned $10 million more in World Ventures than I did in the same time frame as a chiropractor. So to say that it changed my life, it did. So.
Well, and that story just it blows people's minds the first time they really wrap their head, because again, I went to school to be a chiropractor because I thought doctors made a lot of money and that was the way to be successful. Most people, they think of, something, from the time they were in school, doctor, lawyer, corporate America, pro athlete, I don't know, whatever they're thinking is like, that would get me there because that's the way I can picture I can make the most amount of money. And it's mind-boggling even to me as I re-listen it, because I know how successful you were in chiropractic, one of the best in the entire country to do it, and you still made millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars more doing this little network marketing thing versus that. And it's like, it's so funny because, I feel like I want to touch on this every week, Dr. Pietsch, like for the new people that are on this call, like you go to people and no matter what, you're going to have to go through some yeses, you're going to go through some no's, but you're always going to run into the one jackwagon that tells you it's stupid, it's a scam. Like they think it's beneath them. They think they're too sharp for network marketing. And, that probably would have been me. My ego was way bigger than my bank account when I was 22, finishing up my first year of grad school, thinking I was, this hot shot going, heading to be a doctor and all these other things. And then I met somebody who makes more money in a month than anybody I knew growing up made in a year. And he was using World Ventures and network marketing as a vehicle to do that. And it just expanded my mind. I learned what residual income was. I learned how much different a residual dollar truly is than a normal dollar. And everybody through this quarantine the last several months, they've learned the difference between a residual dollar and a normal dollar as well now. And I think it's only going to continue to get easier to share this with people that are open to making money from home, people that can wrap their head around they need a plan B. They can wrap their head around something like this is really what the sharp people, the hardworking people, go and do and can have success with. And you were that shining star for us to see that years and years ago, and I can just see more and more people catching on with that. So just know, some say yes, some say no. When your broke buddy tells you it's stupid, it's all good. Your broke buddy's broke for a reason. You might be broke too, so go talk to another one of your broke buddies. Find someone that actually wants to change their situation, and we have different conversations a few months to a few years from now. But kind of going on that same theme, Dr. Pietsch, like people want their future to be better, and some things are on my heart now that we've kind of hit IMD. Looking back on, you have to adapt, and you and I have these private conversations all the time on. I just appreciate World Ventures for never settling, because they're always looking to improve. I think of it in an Apple analogy where, when I joined, I had a flip phone. I believe when Dr. Pietsch joined, he might have had the very first version of the iPhone, which he'll tell you he didn't even know how to text on it. And look how far that technology has come now, as we have our whatever fancy, iPhones called these days with the 500 cameras on the back, and you got the AirPods and everything. They're not still selling the iPod, is my point. But World Ventures has always done a great job of that too, where we're always advancing, always growing. As we go through this call, you can maybe touch on some of that stuff that you think, Dr. Pietsch, but not only are we growing and advancing, but the company is continuing to do that as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna address that in just 1 second. I want to back up and just go a little bit farther on what you just said prior to that. These people that kind of look at what we do in World Ventures as being below them, they just don't know. They think they do, but they just don't know. I mean, I look at these people with just absolute pity, because I'm like, what, you still have to go to work to make your money? The big boys make $50,000 a month, whether they work or not. It's just, it just is. Like, David, if I had to go back today to being a chiropractor, go set up some office, go do the marketing to get the patients come in, hire the staff, do all of that, be in the same location, have to trade my time for dollars, have to be there every single day, I would feel like an absolute failure. Because I've lived on the other side of that, of not having to do it. See, I can go live anywhere I want. I can do anything that I want. I don't have to worry about money to save my life, because here's my residual bills, and my income is so far higher than that. I just don't know any other way. I think it is the absolute pinnacle of what you can achieve to when it comes to earning money. Now, to address your question of adapting, let's first of all, I did not have an iPhone or an Apple phone when I started World Ventures. I don't even know if Apple was a company back then, David. This is 13 years ago. I mean, give me a break. I had a phone that flipped up, and I never had sent a text message. I had never in my life sent a text message to anyone when I joined World Ventures. I remember I was at a training event, and I needed to reach somebody in the front row of the event. And I was in the back of the arena with Byron Schrag, one of our top leaders, and I was sending a text, and if the first letter was C of the word I was trying to write, I had to go, A, B, C, or hit 1 3 times, And Byron was watching me do that, and he's like, dude, why don't you just give me that person's number and let me do it for you? And I'm just like, I got to get a new phone, man. So, David, to say that things change and evolve, of course they do. And, look, World Ventures is better today for a million different reasons than when I started. We've got way more dream trips. When I started World Ventures, residual income started when you had 90 customers on the left, 90 customers on the right. And they were truly 180 different people, and they were all coming in. If we were to go all in back in the day, it was $365. All in for the membership, which is now our gold membership, and to be a rep was $365. It just was harder to do back then. We didn't have any platform like this, technology like Zoom. We didn't have Facebook. There was no social media. I built my empire by tearing walls out of my chiropractic office and doing a live presentation night after night after night for 1,000 days in a row. But over the years, as technology changes, we have changed the way that we build. I love Zoom today more than anybody in the world probably, because I don't need to work anymore. I've got enough money. I've got 3 daughters, 5 and younger. They're my top priority. I want to spend as much time with them. I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to miss when they learn how to walk, when they learn how to talk, their first day of school, nothing. I'm not going to miss any of it because that's my priority. And I have that because of World Ventures. But at the same time, I can still build a global business using technology. So we've all got to adapt. And there's a lot of changes that are coming to World Ventures in the future. And I couldn't be more excited about it. And as we adapt, think about it. Think how much our life has changed just in the last month. Just in the last month, the freedoms that we've lost and people just willingly do it, we were never going to get them back. So we're going to have to adapt. And we are all going to have to learn how to make money from home. I honest to goodness don't know if World Ventures will ever be allowed to have a stadium full of people ever again. I don't know. None of us do. But I can tell you one thing, every human being around the world better get good at making money from home, because if you don't, you're going to get slaughtered. So, I would just encourage everybody to be light on your feet and be willing to change.
Well, and yeah, I think back as, so many people come and they ask, how during a worldwide pandemic did you go and hit the highest rank in the company? Like, my wife and I, we had more growth, I would say over a period of time through the lockdown time than we had probably any other time in our, 8.5 into 9 years of doing this. And again, you just have to be adapting. This is something Dr. Pietsch taught me, for everyone listening, a long time ago. You can either see the reasons something's going to work, or you can find the reasons it's not going to work. You can either see obstacle, or you can see opportunity. Like your friend that you go talk to later today is going to do that same thing. They are either going to find the reasons they shouldn't do World Ventures, or they'll find the reasons they should. And guess what? They'll find whatever they're looking for. You want to argue for your limitations, you're going to get to keep them. And, again, I would encourage a lot of us on here, do that same thing of, you can always choose to find the opportunity instead of focusing on the obstacle. And I fell in love with getting to build from home because I wanted to build a home-based business from home. I didn't want to build a home-based business traveling around the country 300 days out of the year. I wanted to build a home-based business at home with my wife, at home with my dog, one-day kids. I didn't want to be gone all of the time. The reason I didn't open up a traditional business is so I didn't have to traditionally be gone 40, 50, 60 hours a week. And we all have that same ability. Like, everybody's bored at home. You guys have heard me talk some of this stuff earlier. Everyone's bored at home. Everyone's open to an opportunity. All the distractions of the world are gone. For those of you here in the US, you might be enjoying, going out and stuff for the 4th of July and stuff. Come Sunday night, real world is going to set in. Tomorrow night, everything's great right now. Our friends are fired up beyond belief. Saturday, 4th of July, we're partying up, barbecues, blah, 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 blah. Tomorrow night's coming. The real world's setting back in. Some people are starting to go back to work. Some people are still bored at home, not sure how to do something, but we have a way we can help them go and adapt. And it's never been easier. There's so little distractions out there from what there used to be. And it's just, again, Dr. Pietsch, you've always said it. You have to pay a price. You have to sacrifice a season. I don't know what better season to sacrifice. Sacrifice the season now when there's hardly any distractions, or wait till life goes back to normal, if it ever even remotely does. And even if it does, when it finally does, now you're going to wait for when all the sporting events are back, where you have to try to, not be distracted by that. When everyone's going back to your favorite bar or restaurant every weekend, when you got 15 different weddings you're supposed to be going to that people had pushed back. Like, there's all these other life distractions. You might as well just focus in right now. And a lot of people on here are just absolutely crushing it because they recognize that. The time's going by either way. You used to joke about, would you sit in jail for 10 months and 5 days to come out as an IMD on the other side? And everybody would raise their hand, yes, Dr. Pietsch, I sure would. And then you got to giggle at them. I watched you do this year after year at our big meetings because, you don't have to do that. You just have to discipline yourself on nights and weekends, exactly like you did. My wife and I did it part-time for 3.5 years, built it to a multiple six-figure income by the time we went full-time. You can do all this stuff spare time. And now everyone's just sitting around. You truly are almost on house arrest, so we might as well do it right now.
Yeah, David, it is never in our lifetime, in my opinion, going to be easier to start conversations with people about making money, especially from home. How are you surviving? What are you doing? Here's what I found. I couldn't be happier. Just little tiny phrases, because think about it. Think about the things that people that we know, David, are actually doing for real, in real life right now to make ends meet. It's mind-boggling. You would never think it in a million different years. And so, again, you got to posture up. There's no being embarrassed about doing network marketing. When people say, is it network marketing? I always say it better be. Because I just think that highly of what it is that we actually do. Because in order to make it to the top, you have to help other people. We know here in the United States, 70% of Americans, 70, live paycheck to paycheck. That means that your thinking up until this moment in time has been horrific because you are broke, my friend. Now, how much more broke are you with this worldwide pandemic, people unemployed, people furloughed, people scared out of their mind? And I think we haven't even scratched the surface of how bad it's going to get, in the very near future. And so I say all that to say, again, easy to start conversations. If people have, in network marketing, look, this, David, I've been making $1 million a year in World Ventures for a long time. And if I come up to you and say, hey, you can make $1 million too, that doesn't register to you in any way, shape, or form because you're trying to figure out how to make your car payment. So what you got to do with people is just show them a way to pay for the dance lessons. Show them a way to pay for their swimming lessons. Show them a way to make that car payment. Because the people that are like you and I, we're going to naturally see how high we could go with something like this. But for the masses of people in network marketing, in World Ventures, this is the key. You get a lot of people doing a little. Because not everybody, believe it or not, wants to make $1 million a year. They know about themselves. They're not willing to pay that price, but they are willing to do enough work so they can make $300 a month to pay for their dance lessons. And so that is the key of what we actually do. We just open up conversations. We listen to what they really want, and then we help them achieve their goals. And then if they say, oh, well, I have a mortgage payment too. Maybe if I do this a little bit longer, I can cover my mortgage payment too. Maybe I can cover my student loans. Maybe I can pay for my kids' college tuition. Maybe I can get my wife home. Maybe I can quit this job I can't stand. They will naturally do that themselves. Just don't come in and blow them out of the water. Just show them how to get some basic things that they want in their life today. And it's never going to be easier than right now because everybody is concerned about money. Everybody's got money on their mind right now.
Yeah, and so now kind of transition, here's another thing that was on my heart to share today. For the people that are in the field really, wanting to make something happen, they are making something happen. Again, everyone's on this call because you're looking to continue advancing momentum, relaunch momentum. You're looking to do something positively the second half of 2020 with your business. Here's something I've watched a lot of people make a mistake of over these last several months. I just want to share this, and hopefully this helps some people. You have to think in your head, and maybe some of you want one side of this, but I think most of you are going to want the other. But truly, do you want to look productive, or do you want to be productive? Okay, now choose carefully before I answer this, because there are people in World Ventures that want to, sure, everyone wants to be productive, but they're not necessarily willing to put in the work to be productive. So they attempt to look productive. And I would really just encourage you to recognize the difference between looking productive and being productive. Okay. But back when we, were doing our, here in the Twin Cities, every Tuesday night, we would do what we call a weekly travel party, a weekly big shot meeting where people would come out from all across the Twin Cities. Again, people do this all across the world in World Ventures. But Tuesday was our night. We would do it in Minnesota, and everyone would come out. And I remember Crystal and I would always get so frustrated because sometimes people would show up and they might even come week after week, but they themselves would come, but they wouldn't ever bring a guest. And it was almost like that was their weekly checklist of, I've done World Ventures. Like I have clocked in for my 1 to 2 hours this week, and I can check it off my list, and now I can go on with the rest of my day. And we always get so frustrated, like, while we love you being around, and it all depends. Some people, they join World Ventures, Dr. Pietsch, because they enjoy the being around like-minded, positive people. They enjoy the social aspect of it. They are a part of a travel club because they want to travel with other cool people. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the one that says, I really want to figure out how to make that car payment. I really do want to get my wife home. I really do not want to have to work this second job. I'm sick of working overtime just to be able to make enough as if I was working regular amount of time. Those people that truly are trying to figure out how to make the business work, though they have great intentions to do that, they got confused of being productive versus looking productive. It looks productive to show up to meeting, or you take Zoom. It looks productive to get on a big training call like this, or to get on a big Zoom travel party that could happen all different times of the day all over the world every day. That can look productive, but are you actually being productive? What is being productive? Being productive is inviting people, showing the presentation to people, closing people, and then training them how to go and do the same thing. Those are income producing activities. So just really be cautious, because sitting at home, a lot of us, I had never been my own boss before. So, Dr. Pietsch, you've been your own boss for years and years and years. So you had that self-discipline. This took me a little while. I had to learn that self-discipline. In fact, it took me several years of being full-time after I graduated school to wrap my head around how to get back to truly being productive. I would get stuck in these spurts for weeks or months at a time as well, just like everybody can. But you have to learn how to discipline yourself on the right things. So you can very easily alphabetize your list and feel like you were being productive. You can very easily jump on the hour, every hour presentations and feel like you're being productive, but nothing changes in your back office. You could go and help a whole bunch of other people, in other teams be productive, but your own back office doesn't look productive. So just constantly reevaluate and stay disciplined on the things that are going to advance your business. And that generally is going to go and help other people the same. So it's us, what are we doing to be productive, not just looking productive. That's something that's been on my heart for a while.
Yeah, I mean, David, I couldn't say it any better than that. There's not a lot that I can add to that other than people ask me all the time, Dr. Pietsch, how did you set all the records? Listen to me. I would not go off of the line. I would not do anything that was not income producing. What makes the money, it's a numbers game. You've got to be showing new people all of the time. And the minute you start to, we can go into this topic if you want, David, because you're about to find this out, buddy. Now that you're a rock star, you and your wife are going to get bombarded by people from around the world. They're going to want you to come do the tour. They're going to want you to, come to this city, come to that city, get on this Zoom, get on this call. And you're going to do all these things that are no longer income producing for you. And so it feeds your ego. You feel good about yourself. And if you really want to make the big money, you have got mojo like you've never had right now. You put the hammer down and you say, I'm doing what Dr. Pietsch did. I'm making a 1,000-day run. I'm just getting started. I build online. Because if you go do one meeting right now, and I'm not saying not to do it, but I want to think about this. If I drove right now, I live in Las Vegas, if I drove down by the strip or even past the strip to go meet with somebody, I'd have to go take a shower, put on some clothes, get in my car, drive there, drive through traffic, get there before this prospect does, show him the deal, do the small talk, close him at the end. Maybe he's in, do some training, maybe he's not, some more small talk, get in my car, drive back home. It took me 3 hours. There's no doubt about it. I just wasted 3 hours of my life where I can sit right here in my command center, and in an hour, I can show 4 different people. So in the same time frame, I can show 12 different people. It is about speed, it is about numbers game, and it is about staying on the line for income producing activities. David, you got people on your team, I got people on my team, there's people all over the world that hit a certain rank. Maybe they hit director, maybe they hit marketing director or RMD, and they go on the worldwide celebration tour. Listen, marketing directors, you are not qualified to teach anybody anything yet. Yes, you've separated yourself from the pack a little tiny bit. But I want you to think about, hey, we're talking about global domination here. If you want to be like me, you got to put the hammer down. You got to absolutely positively bury it. When you got a little mojo, when you got some people on each side of your binary doing something, you get them full-time, you get them making money. That is the time to pounce. David, nobody ever talks about the fact that, okay, yeah, I hit IMD in 10 months and 5 days, doing the whole thing part-time. Okay, the average IMD makes something around $50,000 a month. I could have sold my practice right there, just lived happily ever after. I didn't, because I wanted to prove to people that you can do it part-time. And I wanted to also bury this sucker. So I just kept going. After the first year, I just kept going for 2 more years, full on, never missed a day, nightly presentation, and I buried this sucker. And I buried it so far, meaning I had IMDs in all my lines of lineage. I had multiple IMDs on my left and multiple IMDs on my right. If you're not even an IMD, you certainly probably aren't going to have any IMDs underneath you. Okay, so my point is, when you've got mojo, you got to just hammer. You got to keep on cranking. And then when you get to your goal, make it go even farther. I mean, David, what's the first thing I said to you when you got to IMD? I said, the next step is $1 million a year. See, that's the next logical goal that you should have for yourself. It's not, okay, yes, we achieved a goal. It is rock and roll. But at the end of the day, we don't do this for ranks. We do it because we want the quality of our life day in and day out to be stress-free of the worry of money. And that happens when you have enough leaders on your left and your right. And most people just pull back way too soon, okay? If you're not an IMD on this call and you're not making $1 million a year, I would just encourage you that if you do want to get your financial house in order, just keep your foot down. It's about energy in a condensed amount of time, not a little bit here and a little bit there over a long period of time. It's about a bunch fast. And when you have that mojo, bury it, drive it down.
Well, and that's what I've always admired about you, Dr. Pietsch, and I try to share that with people anytime they'll ask me, is it's one thing, like you said, to set the record, but it's a whole nother to solidify and stabilize that record. And we all can get caught in that trap of, okay, I hit a goal, I reach a goal, now what do I do? I was at home and I had family members ask me, wow, you reached your goal, what's next? And what's next is we solidify the goal that we hit. There's been times I've reached goals and reaching it is at the pinnacle. It's like this, if our World Ventures run, so to speak, if I literally think of that as like a marathon run, this isn't as you get to the finish line, you collapse right there. It's you go back around the track again. And by the end of the second marathon coming across, now you got other people that have ran with you there. Now you're more stabilized. Like I honestly think of you in like a basketball metaphor. Everyone talks about Jordan's the go ball. Like I think of Dr. Pietsch as the Phil Jackson. Like for real, think about that. Somebody who, was very successful as a player, and then arguably even more successful as a coach, because, it's the same thing that got Eric Grabowski when you talked to him years and years ago. It's not what you can do, it's the successful people can bring others with them. And so, people jokingly had said to us, you hit IMD, now you're riding off into the sunset. No, there's no sunset to ride off to. You ride off in the sunset when you got all the other guys riding on the horses with you. Nobody wants to lonely do that. We work with a lot of athletes. Rock and roll if you make it to the league. But what about all your buddies that didn't make it? Here's something, you can't drag all them and go, hold on, I'm not going to play for the Raiders unless you let Billy be the linebacker as well. It doesn't work like that. Here, you can drag Billy with you to the absolute top. And that's what I love with it. The more people you help get what they want, you're automatically going to go and get what you want. But again, you rode that thing so far past. Like, again, there are people, you look around network marketing, you look around World Ventures, you just look around in life in general. We all think of somebody that I really wish I had their life. I have always wanted Dr. Pietsch's life because he doesn't have to make decisions based on time or money. And he's built a system and he buried it so far past that he truly can be a stay-at-home dad. Nobody wants to have to travel all around the world forever. Nobody can do that forever. At least stabilize and have it I'm reading a book right now, Dr. Pietsch, where, it's a big long metaphor story, without ruining the whole book and everything, but it's very clearly helping you understand money is not the only thing that's going to make you happy. And if you have to go and, chase whatever your treasure is, and you have to sit there and sacrifice all the other relationships in your life to get it and do it year after year after year after year, why are some people, have more money than they know what to do with, and they're completely unhappy? They're completely unfulfilled. Where, again, I've always admired you because you value your relationship with the Lord and you take that serious. You value your relationship with your wife. You value the relationship with your children, and you've built something and you had thought about the end in mind when you did it, where that 1,000-day run had what you're getting to do right now in mind. That's what we all truly want. We want to be able to be free. And I hope everyone's grasping this, because it's taken me 9 years to really understand this too, why this is truly worth getting good at. It's not worth getting good at to hit IMD so you can go hit double IMD and triple IMD and 5-time IMD and 10-time IMD. That's not why this is worth getting good at. This is worth getting good at because you get yourself to a place and you help enough people on your team get yourself to a place where you guys truly can have a better quality of life. That's what you've created. That's what you've helped people all around the world create.
Yeah, I mean, what happens as you go up through the ranks, I really struggled with this for a long time, is, after a while, all you have is the competition with all the other IMDs as far as, what rank you are in the company and how many times you've hit international marketing director. And, I'm just so glad I was able to get out of that trap, because again, go back to what I care about most is the quality of my life day in and day out. So yes, I could work way harder so that those 4 times a year, if I am ever in a big stadium again, I can feel better about myself. And that's just pride. That is just human pride. And so today, I just cherish the fact that I have true freedom. And everybody has different goals as how high they want to go. So we're not telling you, you're not successful if you're not an international marketing director. I totally respect the people that have the Bible says, have the wisdom to show restraint. Don't wear yourself out to get rich. Nobody ever talks about that at any World Ventures meeting or network marketing meeting. Nobody wants to talk about that. Listen, to me, and it should be for you, there should be a whole lot of other things that are way more important than World Ventures and making money. I use World Ventures as a means to an end. It's just a vehicle that I use to make money. We all have to earn money. So I just love the fact that it's residual. I love the fact that I have to help other people. Going back to what you were talking about, David, this, I had one goal for you from the minute I met you. You got to finish school, but you're never going to practice chiropractic. And I'm going to so pour into you, I'm just going to make you a mini me. I say that all the time. It's cloning. Everybody that knows you and knows Grzybowski knows you're kind of this perfect blend of Grzybowski and me. That's like the sweet spot. You are the Michael Jordan now. You are the one, but that was the goal. And what people need to understand is it doesn't take a lot of leaders. It takes a handful of leaders. Really, if you had one good leader and 3 lines of lineage, that would pretty much do it for you, So again, if you just want to have a decent income, marketing director, one good one on the left, one good one on the right, there you go. You never built the 3rd line of lineage to get through RMD, so be it. But it doesn't take a lot, is my point. Our team has put in over 250,000 sales over the year, and you're either, I don't even know anymore, you're either the 13th or 14th person to hit international marketing director on our team. So including me, let's say it's 15 people, in 13 years. That's not that many people, but we put in an awful lot of sales because we've just cloned me over and over and over again. There's a system that people plug into, but it's really about leadership. I just think of it like a franchise. How many presentations are happening today in my organization? So, I know what the numbers are. I know how many people join my team every single day. So I can just take that number that join every day and go, there was 3 times that many exposures. Maybe there was 4 times that many exposures. Today with silver, we got such a high closing percentage. Maybe it's half. I don't know. But there's a ratio that's there. So just work backwards. You got to start something that causes lots and lots and lots of new people to see the presentation, today, because a certain percentage would join when we actually show them.
Yeah, and you said you think of it like a franchise. Well, imagine if we all did go buy a McDonald's franchise or a whatever franchise you want to talk about. We would treat that like what? A real business. But a lot of people here, they treat this like a hobby, not a real business. So you got to track things. You got to what are you trying to accomplish by the end of 2020? I can tell you, I didn't set my goals high enough. Crystal and I, New Year's Eve, we thought we were dreaming big to go hit IMD on December 31st. And it happened literally 6 months before that. So we thought we were dreaming, holy smokes, and then it still happened in half the amount of time. Imagine what could happen if we would have really tried to stretch ourselves, because again, not only you have to stretch yourself, you got to stretch how are we fitting our team's goals into all of those as well. And then, so you got to know your numbers. So know how many people do you have to invite to actually, so if you invite 10 people, how many are going to actually get on a presentation to hear about it? And then out of the 10 people that hear the presentation, how many of those on average are signing up? Know those numbers. and you can go and accomplish whatever you're trying to get to. Know how many sales you need till the next rank. And then again, it's just balancing, again, we talk about income producing activities. Let me give you some specific things to be doing, okay? You need to figure out, so if you have someone on your team, who is that number one, number two, top 5 people on your existing team? Maybe you have 7 people on your team, so all of them you feel that way. Maybe you got a couple hundred, and you got 2, 3, 4 of them. Like, okay, these are the ones they've been running with me. Okay, well, make sure you pour into them. I'm very appreciative. I had never done anything like this before. Crystal and I had no idea what to do, but somebody saw something in us even more than we necessarily saw in ourselves, and they poured into us. They breathed life into us. They were positive. They were uplifting, and they stayed on us. We had to put in the work, but they stayed on being there supportive. Be that person for your team. And I can tell you another way to be there for the people on your team is go create new layers of leaders underneath those people. So now you have your existing leaders, and you go start new teams, you go lead by example, and you go pour that into those people, and you just help rise them up with you. So it's not, you got one and awesome, I'm riding him into the sunset. It's no. We ride together into the sunset, and that's how we truly actually get to go to the sunset one day, instead of just wandering around the ranch and trying to figure out how to ever get there, so to speak. So I love that, Dr. Pietsch. And then, as we're kind of starting to wind up with this, can't believe how fast this has already went. If you're speaking to that person that I guess there's 2 different people on this call right now. Everyone's on here because they truly are trying to better themselves in World Ventures and get their business moving the right way. Over this next 6 months, there's people who maybe have nothing going on, and they're looking to figure out how to really relaunch. And then there's people that have a whole bunch going on, and they're looking to put their foot even harder on the gas. Like, what advice would you be able to give if you had that one-on-one time with each of those people that you're working with? That person that has, nothing going on, but they really want to get something going. And then you have the person that's got something going on, and they want to go stomp their foot on the gas even more. Like, what advice would you give to that person?
I would say the answer to both of those is what you and Crystal have absolutely mastered, more so than anybody I know in the world. You guys have the ability to put in new people at will. Let me just tell you guys, David has called me more times recently going, I can just put in as many as I want. I got 4 today. I got 4 personals today. And in my mind, I'm going, he's been in for 9 years. You know this, David, I've done 2 back-to-back 90-day runs. We're about 150 days in on both of those. How many personals do you have so far in that 150 days?
77, I think it is.
Okay, so you got 77, and I know you've been able, you've had a lot of people wasting your time doing lots of different things. Not an excuse, but I mean just reality of people that have been dragging you off the line, and you're a team player, okay? How much lineage have you guys created in that 150 days? From nothing, not from existing teams, brand new people, new lineage.
Well, with the other leaders that ran and stuff too, from January to now, we as a team put over 2,000 lineage.
Okay. Guys, I want you to think about that. It only takes 3,000 lineage to hit international marketing director. So would you say it's safe to say, David, that you guys will put in 3,000 lineage in the year 2020? Looking over the next 6 months, can you put another 1,000 in?
Oh, of course.
Okay. So guys, just think about the numbers that are being talked about there. So you guys have figured out how to put new blood in, and you've taught other people how to do the same thing. That is the single most important skill, in my opinion, that has to be learned if you want to go the distance in this thing. Because everybody makes their list. They got their initial list, they're going down. Well, what happens when you get to the end of the list? Then you got to keep going back to the same people on there, and that's okay. That's the right thing to do. But you have to have some sort of system to meet new people. Now, look, everybody that knows me knows I am old school. How did I used to build? I used to go to the gym to meet new people. I would go there with the intent to meet new people. And I think you should do that everywhere you possibly can. Whether you're going to church, whether you're going to the gym, you're intentional about meeting new people when you're out in the community. At the same time, you guys are very intentional about doing it on social media. And you guys have absolutely mastered that game through trial and error. And I would say, David, your skill of doing it the way that you do, you can do it anywhere you want. Because how many times you call me up and go, dude, if I want to build in Memphis, I can do it. If I want to build in Paris, I can do it. Because you now have a skill that nobody can ever take away from you. And again, it just helps everybody. Because going back to what we were just talking about, when you want to help these people on your team, what's going to help them probably more than anything is you keep dropping personals down below them. You got to do whatever you have to do to lock these people in so they can make enough money so they do this as their career. My goal for you was to have you not be a chiropractor and have you do World Ventures as your career. So we have to do whatever it takes to make that reality happen, whatever it takes. So in my opinion, putting new blood in is the absolute, look, you got to lead from the front. You guys are leading from the front, so nobody can take anything away from you. You could go toe to toe with anybody in the world and kick the living snot out of them because you have the ability to put in new blood. So that is something that everybody on here has got to figure out. What is your funnel going to be? There has to be new people coming in, seeing this every single day. So you got to get that figured out for yourself. How are you going to do that?
Well, and I'll echo that is, I think the mistake a brand new person makes and someone that's been in for years makes is they want to somehow attract people to them. When I would tell you that in reality, it's you go be the recruiter. You go be the headhunter. You go reach out to the people that you want to work with. Don't wait for them to somehow magically reach out to you. Like every time, I'll never forget it. Reached out to Eric after I had 12 personals. And I said, Eric Jabelski, how do I talk to the people I don't know? And he laughed at me. I thought I ran out of people to talk to. 12 people in. We've referred over 400 people personally now. But at 12, I thought what happened, I ran out of people I felt comfortable talking to, or even more accurate, I ran out of people that I wasn't going to emotionally care if they told me no. It wasn't going to hurt my feelings. It wasn't going to give me a tummy ache. And so, brand new people have to understand that. There's no magic post you throw it on social media where they all come flooding in to sign up with you. You go reach out to the person that you want to work with. Don't wait for them to come reach out to you. If you see somebody that you think you would like to do business with, you reach out to them. Don't wait for them to magically reach out to you. That works with people you don't know, with people you do know. Just have that concept. Again, do you want to look productive or do you want to be productive? You can look productive by going out and meeting people, and then you never actually reach out to them. You're waiting for them to reach out and go, I've just been watching you for years. What do you do? No. That's trying to look productive because I'm out there adding people to my list. Being productive is you grab that person and you go right for it, telling them what you're looking to do and why you want to partner with them, and then you go from there. So again, looking productive and being productive, you can be productive by constantly, like Dr. Pietsch is saying, always adding people to your list. Figure out who you want to work with. Work on building relationships with those people. But again, they're never going to magically come to you. Mark Aceta makes fun of it all the time. No one's going to be like, I just magically thought that you had this travel opportunity for me, so I reached out to call you because I think I need to hear about that. No, it doesn't work that way. But we have something everybody wants, and we give it to them at a value they can't get anywhere else. So you reach out to them. Everybody wants to travel the second they're able to travel. Everybody wants to make money and needs to make money, and we have one of the few legit ways they can do it from home. Like, we have what people want, so you be the one to reach out to them. You'll be shocked how many people are open to what you have going on, and you just have the guts to be the one to reach out to them.
You got to have a real business plan. This is a real business. You have to have a real plan. And ultimately, the plan is, how are you going to meet new people? What system do you have when you put these new people in to teach them to become just like you? Again, one step at a time. David, you and I have PhDs in World Ventures. We've got our masters. We can take all this and cram it down their throat from the first second they get in. No, it doesn't work. You just give them one bite at a time. They did this successfully, great. Now do this. Now do this, and just walk them down the line. It's just that stair step of upgrading that you were talking about when you started today. You have enough silvers. The natural thing to do, upgrade to gold. Your fees are already waived. Why wouldn't you do that? You're going to make way more money that you can use to travel by doing that. That's in everything that we do. When it comes to the business, it's this, then this, then this, then this, and you just keep climbing that ladder of knowledge. Guys, what we do is so simple, but people try to make it complicated. And that's where it gets very difficult. So don't do it.
Yeah, and again, everything that we do when we talk about systems and everything else, this would be a great way, I'll let you close it out, Dr. Pietsch, is we do it planning for the long term. I know you in our conversations, I know my wife and I'm venturing to guess the vast majority of you listening to this right now, you are wanting to build World Ventures, not for the short term, but for the long term. And, Dr. Pietsch is on the President's Advisory Council. That's a fancy way of saying, him and a couple of the absolute top leaders in all of the world of World Ventures help, have an understanding of where we were, where we currently are as a company and where we're going. And I just, I'd love maybe Dr. Pietsch just share for a couple minutes of, why he, after over a decade of doing this, not only is still here, but is excited about the future, and why us that choose to take 2020, the rest of this year, serious, can be setting ourselves up, not just for what's coming in the next pay period for what we did over the last 2 weeks, and then we have to start over again. Not just something we can do for 6 more months and have to figure out how to redo something all over again, but how what we're doing right now truly can set us up for months and years to come.
Yeah, I mean, David, look, World Ventures is almost 15 years old now. I've been on the President's Advisory Council for more than 10 years now, so I certainly know where we've come from. I know how hard it is to build a network marketing company that has done billions of dollars of sales like we have. I mean, it's a miracle when it all comes together, and it's just so hard for companies to come as far as we actually have. As I look, again, I've been in for 13. As I look to the rest of my life, where World Ventures is today, look, again, the world has changed massively, this year. I mean, again, we can't travel. We are having to social distance. We can't do live training events together. I mean, it's just, the world is absolutely different. And so we've all got to adapt. And, the reality is there's people that are legitimately scared to travel. I mean, David, you're one of them. It's not that you were scared, but you didn't think it would be logistically even possible. You wanted to go to Greece in August, correct?
Yeah.
But you're not going to do it. Why?
Well, I just asked as of 2 days ago when I was at the airport, Americans can't even travel to Greece as of right now, still. So it's not even a possibility at this point right now.
So think about that. So here we are in travel, the largest industry in the world, but people are in lockdown. And so we as a company are just going to adapt. We've been talking for years about adding Dream Body. And so as that comes to fruition here in the next couple of weeks, it just means that we have more products to sell people. That's more income that can be earned. So we're never going to change the focus of our company from travel. Dream Trips is the core of who we are, but it also makes sense to add Dream Body. David, I've been working on my before Dream Body now for 5 or so years. So this is the before, and as we add nutrition products, as we add skincare products coming to us, I mean, guys, here's what I would tell you. Get excited about whatever it is that we're about to sell. See, I wouldn't be embarrassed about anything that you can sell because it only adds volume to the comp plan. I have friends of mine who are in a company, they sell skincare and nutrition. One of them makes $685,000 a month, and that's what they sell. I have another one in the same company, he makes $350,000 a month. So, we're not going to go just be a skincare and nutrition company in the future here. Everything that we do as we consume these nutritional products, as we consume skincare, that's just going to add points that we can use to go on our dream trips. I mean, we're going to have a model where we can truly earn our way onto vacation. I mean, how rock and roll is that? Because the reality is, David, everybody's already drinking protein shakes. Everybody's already using all these products somewhere else. Why not just buy it from yourself? Think about this, guys. If the average rep in World Ventures is now spending $50 a month, what if we had roll out these new products and that number became $100 a month? You know what just happened? You just doubled your income. So guys, Dream Body is coming. It's going to be here very soon. I couldn't be more excited about it. I've waited for years. So again, what does that mean? It means checks are going to go up because we're able to sell more stuff. As we have more volume, lineage tied to it, it means more people are going to be ranking up that much faster. It's going to be easier to get to the top. So again, whatever they give us to sell, I would be as excited as you possibly could, because at the end of the day, the more stuff we can sell, the more money that can be earned. And so we are going to be light on our feet. And now that we do this, and now that we have the platform, we can just continue to add other products and services that we can sell. So just think about how great it is. We've been trying for a long time not to lose our identity as a travel company, and we most certainly won't. Because, look, the field wants us. The field wants more stuff to sell, especially right now. Because, David, this is happening. People are going, well, I'll get back to you when, travel gets back to normal. Well, what if it doesn't go back to normal? We can't just sit here and go, okay, so we're going to get light on our feet. We're going to move. We're going to make a change. And I just love it. I absolutely love the direction that we're going. So here's this. I'll say this. I believe this. World Ventures is a whole new company right now. I just gave you a big tip because it's coming soon. And the top earners are not even here yet. because the reality is there's going to be so many people getting in. They're going to shatter my record of IMD in 10 months and 5 days because it's going to be easier. You can sell more stuff. There's more volume that's going to be flowing through the comp plan. You know, the top income earners, there will be people that will move lots and lots and lots of product all around the world, and the incomes are only going to go up for all of us. So we all need to be jacked out of our mind about that. And you, my friend, David and Crystal, you guys are peaking at the right time. You know, there's a lot of people that have been kind of just going through the motions this year because it's been tough. There's been all sorts of challenges. You know, my advice would be get all that nonsense out of your head, look forward, and go create the reality that you want for yourself. You know, look, the glass is half full. Have that type of mentality. People want to follow somebody that is certain. And if you're certain, people will follow you because they believe that you're a person that's going somewhere. So just drag people along with your belief.
And again, 2020 is not over. We are at the halfway point, and what 2020 will be looked back on for your business, that story is a long from being written. And again, I know the people that are on here listening to this, they're the ones really looking to, no, we're not just waiting for 2021. We're ready right here, right now. And again, you either sell something or you work for someone who does. We might as well get excited about anything that we have. And again, that's what I love with what we have as a company. We are willing to adapt. We are willing to never settle. And again, no matter what happens on the outside that we can't control, we can control what we do right here as a company, as a team. And I've never been more excited. So again, thank you so much, Dr. Pietsch, for jumping on. I'm so thankful for the value that you've brought us over the years. Hope everybody has a great weekend. And again, all of 2020, there's a lot left to be written. Look forward to seeing you guys next week. Same time, same call. God bless.